What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the No Life Gaming podcast and YouTube channel show on YouTube and sometimes Instagram and maybe Vimeo in the future, depending on the status of YouTube in the future, because they're banning everyone and they're giving out copy strikes to everyone. If you notice the bottom right hand corner, you will see our website there. You'll see my pretty face and a new video that I uploaded. Go check it out. I respond to Dave 2D's video. But the website looks different, and it's because of a funny little story. So I use WordPress. I think WordPress is awesome. It's super easy to use. It's super quick and cheap, and I've gotten pretty damn good at it. So normally with WordPress, I don't like to start out with just an HTML spread. I like to get like a pretty legit theme and then just fuck the theme up with all sorts of just put together CSS coding and just like a real piece of shit website. But I've gotten good at optimizing them so they run pretty quickly. Unfortunately, the last theme that I was using, this like crazy Gillian theme that had all sorts of things going on with it, that theme was working great. It was nice and quick, but the problem was that when I updated WordPress and I updated some part of WordPress, the theme wasn't updated along with it, and it basically completely broke the entire website. It didn't break the posts, but it just broke the look of the website. So I upgraded the theme to a different, more standard theme that's a little bit easier and doesn't really need much updating or upgrading. So you can see here on the site, it just looks a little bit different. It's a little bit cleaner. It's a little bit more just like standard. I still want to do a few things to it. I haven't had too much time with the site, but you can see the videos page is still basically the same with the podcast page. So anytime you want to view content, it's super easy. Just the articles and the way that the articles are laid out, it's a little bit different. You can see there, it's more of like a blog roll style. I kind of want to change that. I just need to set aside some time. So each section has its own little page and then its own little blog roll if you wanted to get into those. But it's back up. It's running nicely. All of our stuff is there. Every single episode that we've done. Well, every single episode up until episode 30. I think that's when the website came. All of those are up. All the podcasts are up. I know you guys probably don't listen to old news podcasts, but they are there if you want, as well as all the other featured articles and written articles that we're doing. And I plan to spend a lot more time on it now that things have kind of slowed down on the other side, and I just I want to keep on writing, keep on creating content. And I had a pretty good time making that Dave 2D video. I think I found a nice little niche to follow, which I don't know. What do you guys think? You think that like tech commentary is a good idea, like a good little niche? I don't see much of it. Sometimes I'll see like Linus talking about some sort of thing that some other person said, but you rarely see like commentary on tech. You know what I mean? Usually it's just like one guy giving his opinion and that's that. But
I mean, that's kind of what commentary is at its core too, though.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like commentary in terms of like them instead of the product so much.
So you just want to be the Keemstar of tech.
Should we change the name to No Life Alert?
No, because I've also been trying to fix the website a little bit because I applied for a job with like half of the articles I wrote for that.
Oh, really?
I'm just gonna sit back.
Here's the week it breaks.
Well, it should work now. It should look pretty good now.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna sit back here going Techstar, Techstar.
Techstar, is that my new nickname? I'll take it, dude.
No.
I'll take it. I don't know. I'm trying to find like a different avenue to go down because it's just too saturated to do the regular tech
Well, yeah,
thing.
we're just the news show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I feel like there's not that many tech news shows.
It's because it's too hard to. It's borderline pointless.
Yeah.
Because it's if you do a weekly, I don't know. It's harder. It's harder just because some of it moves so fast, but also I mean, it's like
you need the inside scoop.
Cycles. You need the inside scoop, but it's like the way tech news works is you have a week of a lot of news and then you have 2 weeks of nothing.
Yeah.
But that like 3 days is going to be everything.
I'm thinking, why don't I let those guys who's got the inside scoop do all that? And then when they release whatever it is that they release, I can comment on them. Just as like, this is not like all that I'm doing, but just a portion of it that I think can start to get people to look at the channel at least, and then they can get into the.
I think
the
also
videos.
it'd be helpful if we played games together
I
and
know.
like actually talked about that.
Well, we've turned more into like a tech channel than a gaming channel.
Right, but I
That's
mean,
kinda
for other stuff, I would think we should do that.
Yeah.
With the tech stuff, I'm down to do that.
Well, I'm down to fucking whoop anyone's ass at Mario Tennis Aces if you guys want to.
Yeah, I'll leave that
Get,
up to you guys.
get ripped on some Mario Tennis Aces. Speaking of which, you guys been playing any new games lately?
RimWorld beta. RimWorld 1.0 is going to come out soon.
I thought that game was out already.
Well, it's been in early access for a long time.
Oh.
So this would be like leaving early access, like full actual release. And there's actually a lot of new stuff for it, which is kind of cool. That's been fun. So yeah, if anyone likes RimWorld, check that out.
Yeah, you were talking about it a few months ago, I think.
Yeah, because it was weird because we were talking about it then because that was beta 18, and the main guy who's been making the game pretty much was like, oh, I'm done. Like, there's not really going to be anything after this. So now all of a sudden he's like, oh, nope. Now there's like half of the game is new, and he's just going to release new stuff after he said he was done with the game.
That's dope.
Yeah. So there's a lot of new stuff coming to RimWorld, which I'm happy and excited about. Like a lot of new weapons, a lot of things that people have made mods for that he's worked with the mod creators to basically just incorporate the mod into the game, like baseline and things like that. So it looks like a lot of really cool quality of life things, but also just a lot of fun content.
I still have to check it out.
It's good, but that game is what the maker of it's always done is he's been very open to mod support.
Yeah.
And like from the beginning, he's always let tons of mods be easily enabled, which has just made that game has such a huge lifespan of just so much things to do because it's a basic, almost roguelite kind of game where it's just you keep replaying it, but since there's so many mods and like such good support for it, there's more content than I can shake my dick at it, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome though. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like those old Arma games, like Arma 2. How like Arma 2, there's a server for whatever you want. No one actually plays Arma still. They just play random servers, and that's how you come up with PUBG.
Yeah, but that's what's so dope. I mean, like CS was like that.
Yeah,
the Warcraft mod and shit like that.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I don't like. Well,
I used to love that shit.
I was always like hit or miss with the Warcraft mod because sometimes it's a lot of fun, and then like some variations of it were just terrible.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, just terrible.
Like when they turned everything on, and there's like zombie mod, Warcraft mod, and like flying mod all at once.
And it's just. And of course you have every single like voice announcer pack on top of it too. So like the only thing you hear is like constant screaming of Killtacular, even though no one's doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are the days, man. Days. Well, speaking of which, I've been playing Battlefield 1, trying to get back into Battlefield because the new one's be coming out soon.
November?
I want to say sometime soon. I thought a little earlier than that, but maybe I haven't really checked. Yeah. I thought it was September.
It might be September. I think it's September or November.
Battlefield 5, I think it is.
Yeah, it's 5.
Oh, October 16th. That's the release date.
All right, sure, dude.
Yeah. But I've been playing Battlefield 1 to try to get back into it. And after playing PUBG for so long and this slow like slog of a game and like calculating your steps and really lining up your shots and everything is just drag, I was getting my ass handed to me, and like I couldn't even get one kill at one point because it was just so much faster. PUBG fucked me up. I used to be really good at Twitch-based FPS. PUBG fucked me up, dude. I stopped playing it because I'm just so bad at these like Twitch-based FPS games, which I fucking love. So I think I'm gonna play a little bit more Battlefield 1 and get back into Doom and and I might check out that new Quake just to get back to like that real quick rhythm and just high heart rate going on.
Well, that's why what I feel like sometimes if I get deep into a CS hole, just because like CS is also a lot slower than those games naturally.
It is, yeah, it is, and it's still 20,000 times faster than PUBG.
PUBG, yeah. Yeah, well, that's why I gravitated to Fortnite, because it was like, I have the attention span for this.
Yeah, Fortnite is definitely that. They got that pacing down really good. But I mean, the problem with PUBG, like, they're just so stupid, dude. And one of the news stories that we have, I guess we could talk about it now. What did I do with my OneNote? I just closed it. One of the stories that we have was that a popular PUBG streamer who goes by Shroud, I'm sure some of you guys know who he is, he got banned from PUBG. Supposedly he was playing with a hacker or some bullshit. And there's been all these like memes going around of people just like these really bad lag and desync issues where, you know, you see someone and then you kind of hide away from them as soon as you've seen them. And then a minute later you'll just die because the desync is that bad. Well, I guess he was just fucking around, and there's been so many hackers in PUBG lately that they're using these flying cars sort of tweaks and glitches. And he was able to get into one of the flying cars with a hacker, and they banned him. PUBG banned him for 30 days for teaming, which is when you're in a solo match and you team up with someone. And
want to know
I think that's fucking insane.
No way. You mean PUBG doing stupid shit when it comes to bans?
Yeah.
Well, no, because that's what's even funnier is
it was Shroud, the top streamer.
Yeah,
for
no,
PUBG.
it's Shroud, who I want to say like 6 months ago they banned a couple of people for killing Shroud, and Shroud thought they were cheating.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love Shroud because Shroud's always been my boy because I've always been a C9 fan. But like, sure, dude.
Yeah, well, he's not playing PUBG. Well, he has like an alternate account or something that he's been playing on. But I think that's just so funny. Like they didn't ban the hackers. They didn't bother to find who that hacker was. They banned him.
Come on, dude.
It's
even better because Shroud has skins in PUBG.
Yeah. I don't know if they still sell them though. I'm not exactly sure. I remember he did, but someone on Reddit was saying that they're no longer there or something.
Still, like, at the end of the day, there's skins in that game with his name on it.
Dude, it's gonna be dead soon. As soon as Battlefield's Battle Royale or Call of Duty's Battle Royale is actually stable, like it doesn't even have to be as good. As long as it's just stable, this game is done for. Just can't. It won't even. Their numbers are gonna drop so far, and then the only thing that'll save this game is if they do what everyone wants them to do, which is optimize it, you know, add like just tons of shit in there, just like all these different things that they're probably not going to do. There was a statistic on the subreddit that said that they made like $380 million last year and spent 0.3% of it on actual development, which was less than what they spent the year before that. So it's pretty fucking insane, dude. I just don't see it lasting anymore.
I don't see me ever giving them money. If that's the case, dude.
It's such a shame because I love this. Like I like how it is this methodical military sort of game with real bullet drop and realistic. It's just like super real. You do feel like you're fucking trying to survive in this real landscape. But I just want someone else to do it now. It can't be Blue Hole. It's got to be someone else.
It's called Arma 3.
Yeah, I don't know about Arma though. I don't know. I might check it out.
That's where that came from, like that slow methodical style.
Yeah, but that's a lot slower. That's even slower than PUBG is.
To an extent, but 3 was pretty fast, and most of the like battle royale type stuff's pretty much just PUBG.
Yeah, no, if we're getting a battle royale, I want someone else to do it. If it's gonna be like PUBG, I'm interested in seeing how the fuck Battlefield is gonna do it, because I was playing it and I'm like, this is just way too fast for a battle royale. It's way too fast. Same with Call of Duty. How the fuck they're gonna do it makes no sense to me. But I guess we'll see. Do you think that they're gonna release Battlefield Battle Royale on when they release the game, or do you think that it's gonna be like a later patch thing? We haven't heard
I,
anything about it.
I have no idea because I'm not gonna play it.
You're not a
I'll play-
Battlefield? Not a
I'll play
guy?
Battlefield. No, I like Battlefield. I play Battlefield 5. I'm not gonna play their fucking Battle Royale.
I bet you do. I bet you play it. I bet you play it.
I mean, you'll try.
I
at
bet
least.
you will play it.
I mean, I'll probably do the same thing I've done with all of these games. I played it for a week, win a couple of times before everyone gets good, and then just lose interest.
And then just fucking, I don't know, dude. There's gonna be some really good motherfuckers.
I mean, I still have all of the winner badges in all of these games. You know what I mean? But it's just like, okay, the first week's a lot of fun when everyone's learning it, and after that, I'm just like, I don't care.
Well, I think with
Not my type of game.
I think with Battlefield, it'll be cool if it's just like an extra game mode that's thrown in, not like just like tacked on, but like while you're in a queue, you have Conquest, then you have Capture the Flag, then you have a Team Deathmatch, and then you have a Battle Royale. You know what I mean? Where it's not like every single match.
I think that could be
Royale.
cool, but that would almost suck more.
You think?
'Cause that's my biggest thing with Battle Royale is like if I'm gonna go sit and play video games, I want to play video games, not like have 5 attempts at playing a video game that ends in 2 minutes and then actually playing a video game.
I see what you're saying.
Like if it was just thrown in the middle, that would be so weird pacing. Because like I mean, Conquest, the beauty of Conquest was it just never ends.
Yeah.
And then like Capture the Flag's fun, stuff like that. But like if your rotation was like that, it's just like cool, infinite respawns, just go for 10 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's here's a battle royale match where it's still gonna take 10 minutes, but if you die, you just have to watch for 10 minutes.
That's the thing, though. I don't think that they can do it that way. I think their battle royale mode is going to be different. It's got to be. It can't.
Yeah,
it can't be
but
this fast pace because you're just gonna, like you said, you're gonna die in 2 seconds, and then that's it. You're done. You know.
Well, that's why I don't think it would be just thrown into a rotation like that. Also,
Yeah, maybe it'll be like how
to
there's
be a game
conquest mode and then battle
Yeah.
royale mode, and then
it's gonna have to be a mode you choose to enter, just because otherwise I think that would be way too messy.
I don't know. I'm interested in it, man. I just want a better PUBG. That's all. I'm done with fucking Blue Hole. It's so bad, dude. It's the desync is so bad. Everyone's fucking complaining all the time. China is just insane at this game. So we'll see. We shall see. Doobie, have you been playing anything lately? And I've been playing a lot of Mario Tennis and all of the balancing stuff that I was talking about 2 weeks ago. Still there. But I think the trick shot mechanic, people just didn't understand it at first. And now that everyone knows the trick shot mechanic, now the game has become balanced again. I guess the meta, is that what you call it? The meta of the game has been like, people understand the meta now.
Yeah, except for all the people complaining nonstop online about how it's a bare bones game. That's not balanced at all.
It is a bare bones game, and there's still a lot of balance issues, but
yeah,
it's still. I still have fun with it. Just because I beat everyone.
I bought it with the intent of playing it with friends, and so far, I have enjoyed it for that.
I tell you what, online has gotten drastically worse, and it makes me terrified for Smash Brothers. It's not good. It was good at first, I guess, when they had all the money for the servers, and they had them. As soon as they got flooded with more people, the servers just suck now.
They stopped paying the bill.
They stopped paying that bill, dude, and now they're terrible. I don't know if this internet system is used in Smash. I think Nintendo is gonna really hear about it because Smash. No one really gives two shit about Mario Tennis, but Smash Brothers, you fuck that internet up, you're fucked. What's his name gonna say about it?
Sakurai?
Yeah, what is Sakurai gonna say when you can barely when it's laggy, like to the point where it's 3 seconds between each frame?
It'll be what Sakurai always says. It's a party game. Screw competitive.
Does he really say that?
He always talks about how his focus on it, like he doesn't cater to the competitive scene because
is that bullshit though? That's got to be bullshit. little change he made in this new one seems like a competitive change.
It does seem like a competitive change, but it's also one of the reasons why it was easier for them to make slight changes to what was essentially the Smash 4 system, was because they were adding in all the characters. And if you're adding in all the characters, that takes away time from creating a brand new engine. It was really, you either get a brand new engine and some characters, or we kind of keep it the same, but you get every character. That was the option that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what can you really do to that Smash 4 engine besides tweak it to make it a little faster? But like when they went from Melee to Brawl is like the slowest game on the planet. It is so bad. Because he's never viewed it as a competitive game. It's always been a party game, and they're more focused on, instead of selling it to like the not even 500,000 to like the 200,000 maybe, or 250,000 really competitive scene players versus the like 10 million casual party game fans who are going to play it with their friends, 4 players, items on random stage. Let's be honest, they care more about that 10 million because that's where the money is.
That's why physical games suck. See, if you have a nice computer internet game, you cater to that 10 million at first, but then 5 years down the line, you actually give a shit about the only people who are still playing it.
Oh man, that's PC gaming. As far as games I've been playing, just clearing out the backlog right now, getting ready for Friday for Octopath Traveler and Captain Toad.
Is that like from the same guys who did Octodad?
No,
No, it's not.
No, but it should be.
It's the same people that did Bravely Default. Which,
okay.
If you've ever played Bravely Default or Bravely Second, they're
good.
They're good. They're really good RPGs for the 3DS, and now they're making a game on the Switch, and I'm just like, okay.
Are you gonna let's play Octopath?
Octodad too, dude.
Everything I've read about it is everyone's like, because the previews have come out. I think Thursday, the embargo list for reviews. Everything I've read about it so far, I have a few concerns that I'm like, they're very minor though. But everything I've read so far is the game kind of seems perfect for like not the 8 to 10 hour long sit down playthroughs, but more for like the 1 to 2 hours before bed, which means my Switch is never leaving the bed.
Does it leave the bed anyway?
Not really. Not unless I'm going over a friend's house or I'm going out like on a road trip or something.
Dude, Doobie, oh fuck, I forgot to tell you. I was looking up cases for the Switch because Mario Tennis makes my hands hurt so bad on that fucking tiny little Joy-Con. But what I found are these gooseneck things that you attach your Switch to, and someone had a picture of them laying in bed and the gooseneck going over their face.
I've seen that. Those have been ever since the Switch came out.
Oh my god, I was seriously considering getting it.
If you remember the initial Switch trailer when they showed Mario Kart 8 and they're playing in the car, that accessory never got released. The one that sat on the headrest, that never got an actual release. That's an accessory they showed off that they never produced.
Oh, they have them all now on Amazon, all by like
the third party did it, but never Nintendo first party, But I have thought about doing the gooseneck, putting it to my bedpost.
Yeah, and then just literally laying in bed and playing it.
But then
you can have your hands. You can have your hands down and still play. You know what I mean? You're not holding it at your face like that.
I mean, let's be honest. Either two things are going to happen for me. One, the classic that happens with my phone and 3DS, which is the ow. Yeah. I always do as I'm falling asleep, I slam my face. Or I'm going to fall asleep and wake up, like I'm going to jolt and I'm going to slam my head on the Switch.
So to the people watching, this is the gooseneck.
Let's just say you do that or do what someone I know did. You get an IKEA shelf that's a little bit longer and put it right on top of your bed. And just make a little holder underneath it so it's right above you.
Yeah. Dude, I'm getting this gooseneck, man. I have to.
I'm scared to have a gooseneck. I'm just like, I just know people who would throw a tablet in there and just, God forbid.
That's it.
It's like you never have to get out of bed.
Dude, you get a mini fridge, you put it underneath the bed. You get one of those catheters. You're good to go.
Dude, we're literally moving to Wally time. Like, just everyone in the chair.
I'm fine with it, dude.
I'm just saying the IKEA shelf might look a little bit classier in your room.
Yeah, you definitely would have to take this gooseneck off when you leave. You can't show anyone that gooseneck.
Hi, this is my bed, and that's my gooseneck, specifically for the Nintendo Switch. And where are you going? Thought you would love me.
Yeah.
No, instead, you just have a big shelf right above your head of your bed, so you have to like duck underneath it to get in, and then there's a little holder for your Switch, and then next to it is a fork.
Do I put all of my amiibo on top of that?
Oh my god.
I had to.
We're going too far.
There we go.
We've gone too far.
Okay, it's just no. It's amiibos on the flanks, and then in the center is just like art books, like your masterpiece collection pieces of art.
I have so many art books from RPGs and stuff. I have so many art books.
It's
the center is like a Breath of the Wild collector's edition, like Link statue.
I don't have the statue. Don't have the statue. I usually don't go for statues.
Are you gonna get this Octopath Traveler one?
I already paid it off.
Oh my god.
I just need the Octodad statue.
Yo, Octodad is a great game too.
I've never played Octodad.
It's fun.
I gotta check it out.
Controls, but fun.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly stupid to control, but that is the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler looks interesting to me, but I kind of want to test it out before I play.
I do have the one real question though. Steam sale is now over. Did you fucking buy it?
I didn't buy anything.
Oh god.
I didn't buy a damn thing on Steam sale.
Oh god. He's waiting for fucking Octopath.
I right now my money is tied up.
No, not tied up for Octopath, that's for sure.
I paid that off.
Jerry left.
Man, I know, I saw that. I paid off Octopath like before the bills really kicked in with like dental stuff.
Oh god, here we go again. Another fucking month of Doobie trying to get him to play Witcher 3. Dude, if you played Witcher 3, you wouldn't even want to look at Octopath Traveler. That's for damn sure. All right, let's move on to news. First news story is how many is too many when it comes to indie games? Nintendo wants to release 20 to 30 indie games every week on Switch.
It's too much. It's too much. Like, I don't get me wrong, like it's possible Steam does it, but without changing that like eShop page on a better like UI or something, you're just getting a ton of trash games at the top, pushing all the new releases down. Just like pushing a ton of good games out of the way. Like I don't need to see 15 Monopoly ripoffs.
What they need to do is just need to have a better Discover. Yeah, it's just so bad.
They just have to have a better store UI because like
I don't UI or more selective in what you're putting on the.
No, both. Like it's just make a better UI so you have like, okay, here's the new releases of like licensed Nintendo stuff. And then here is the not new releases. You can make two lists. I mean, rip off Steam.
And if they know when they're releasing 20 to 30, they know that like some of these are obvious clone stinkers.
Right, but at the same time,
company who's
some of them are good.
On there want the exposure of like a suggested page. I mean, they'll probably charge them for it.
Well, what do they have? They have the new release page. Then there's a best-selling page, which is usually the best-selling games, like good games. Yeah. Then there's what was that?
Those are like the good games. You're gonna find Hollow Knight on there. You're gonna find.
That's where I go to look for games, but they don't. It only goes up to like 20. It don't have. It doesn't. It's not like the full list.
What I do, man, is I mean, for me, it's easy because I put things on my wish list, like as soon as I see them, or I follow the news. But the casual.
I was gonna say I always had to follow the news. Yeah, I always had to follow the news. And every online Nintendo store has always been just crap.
Oh yeah,
It's been trash.
I mean,
all
I
of them.
really like the PS4 Stories UI.
Yeah,
I would much rather have a UI like that.
I think they need that would be something they should definitely do once they roll out full online. If they're gonna make people pay for online, like they need to fix that store.
Give me customizable regular UI as well. It's not that I don't hate the minimalistic UI, but like I've seen mock-ups where like this UI is great, and I'm like, yeah, no, that is way too busy. There's too much going on there. But I just wanted like a way to like make a custom like sounds or custom image or themes. Just give me a little bit something to customize my Switch a little more, because like one of the things about the 3DS was how customizable you could do it, not just in special editions, but all the themes for your backgrounds. And the Switch kind of just feels super minimalistic, which isn't terrible. It's
I
just
like
such
it.
a small nitpick for me. It's not a deal breaker. It's just I would like to have that.
Their friends list is absolutely trash. It's so bad, and the store is trash. They need to fix those two things. There's still no web browser.
Oh God, no, there will never be.
It's just
Which is kind of sad, to be honest.
How cool would it be to just go to like just check certain shit,
You know
Like,
why it's
the
on
two-
there? Because you can access Twitter and Facebook because you can post to them like your screenshots.
Yeah.
Which means the internet browser's there.
The 2DS has an internet browser. Just saying.
Shit.
It is, but even if the 2DS has a freaking browser, come on.
When is the Switch getting Netflix?
Never.
No, never.
But they are getting 20 to 30 new indie titles per week. I think that I don't mind that so much.
No, that's what I was trying to say. I think they need to redo the UI. Having more games, even if they're bad, like quality is always better than quantity, obviously. But you still want quantity. The more games that come out, the better for that platform. If they have so to me, yeah, I agree that the 30 games coming out every week, that's not an issue. That's great. Honestly, great. If there's if you have enough people programming shit games that there's that many coming out, that's awesome. You're doing something right then. That's where you have to start actually being like, okay, now I actually have to have a good place to be able to find the quality stuff.
Yeah, it's not like the Steam, like Steam Marketplace. It just inundated with so much new crap every day,
and it's still okay because the UI is good enough that you can find everything that's actually new and worth it. There's a review system, and there's a search system that's really good.
Yeah,
like
I would say though,
those things there you go.
Yeah, I would say though, with like the Switch, like you were hearing all these stories about like our indie game sold like 3 times better on the Switch than it did on Steam. Partly because
there was nothing else at the time.
Well, the Switch wasn't inundated with 20 to 30 games every week shoving things down. Things had a chance to also sit there. Now with 20 to 30, unless they change UI, those games are going to drop, and you're not going to be hearing these stories of it sold 3 times better on the Switch than it did on Steam, because it's still suffering the same problem with Steam, where the 20 to 30 games just drop everything off the new releases.
Well, also a lot of these like big indie titles, they're going to succeed no matter what. You know what I mean? They're just good games. They have good followings. They're by good developers. They have good money behind them. It's not like a real broke indie developer who's just putting together some mod pack of something, just throwing it up there to try to cash in on some bucks. Like it's an actual team of developers that go into it. So they're going to succeed anyway, but they just need to figure out a much better UI system, and that's it. And then you're solved. And then I don't mind, keep like what Steam has is perfectly fine. What I love about Steam, which I didn't realize until a couple months ago when I set one up for No Life, is the curator package thing, where if you follow someone or you follow like a group that curates content, they can recommend certain content that you're into. So if you like a streamer who plays RPGs all the time, he can curate on his Steam page what RPGs he thinks you should play. And I think that's really, really cool.
And that does influence your queue as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I do. Things about Steam I do like is I really like the queue system.
Yeah, there's that, but it's also what I think they did. The most important thing Steam did is the default landing page isn't new anymore. It's new and trending.
Yeah.
Because they actually have an algorithm to figure out, hey, people actually like this one, so we should actually show that instead of just.
I mean, if the Switch can get a trending thing going, those release dates for those new arrivals, like even after a week, they're still going to be trending probably. So,
yeah,
like,
and I think that would help them out immensely if they just like that was the default instead of just here's new.
Well, moving on. More Nintendo Switch news. Is your Nintendo Switch cracking under the pressure, or should that be heat? This is out of Nintendo Life. The Switch has been with us for a year now, and during that time it has been lavished with praise for its versatility, portability, and superb software, rightly so. However, no piece of gaming hardware is totally perfect, and Switch has also endured its fair share of less positive press. One early issue was that some units suffered from scratched screens due to the console's dock, while others reported warped consoles due to high levels of heat generated by the system. Fast forward to the present, and we've got another potential hardware headache on our hands. And then here you can see Damian McFerrin. Just noticed my Switch has multiple cracks along the top edge of the console. I don't treat it harshly, so I'm not sure where these have come from. It's just a weak point of the design. And you can see it does look like it's caused from like a bend, it's like a fracture from a bend. And then there's a few other reports of the same sort of thing going on as well. Usually right there at the top by that heat sink. Which basically what it tells me is that it's heat related. That's what's bending it. And then that pressure, I'm assuming once that plastic starts to harden again, just cracks just a little bit. You get little tiny fractures there, which is a huge, huge issue when it's right by the heat sink. You do not want that to happen. Oh, this guy's is really bad.
I think we're in line for a revision at some point, not just because of the chipset, but they need to find a way to like increase that fan or something, or some other way to help with heat, because the system does get hot.
Mm-hmm.
It never gets hot enough to fry it, but it does get hot enough where these things will happen, where heat will like the plastic when it cools down, has a chance to crack.
I'm wondering if a lot of them play in the dock. I barely ever play in the dock. I almost never play in the dock.
I think I saw some of them said that they play like specifically handhelds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, it also depends on how long you're playing. Are you plugged in when you're playing? Because like,
should it be an issue though, man?
It shouldn't.
If it's a console, it's going to be an issue.
Heat's always an issue with consoles. I mean, with anything really, any electronics.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be breaking from use.
Dude, Xbox 360, PS3, PlayStation, like it seriously took to like this current, it really took to like the current editions for heat to not be as big of an issue.
I had my PS1 on for maybe like 3 hours at my friend's place playing the couple nights ago when we were playing.
Like, that's why all of those
consoles. I put my hand on the console, and that shit was hot as fuck.
I've never had a console break on me.
I finally had one, which was my PS3, because it's just because they're trying to make them as small as possible, and they make really terrible design choices. A lot of them, like the reason why the PS3 changed so many times when they first released it, the fat PS3, the power supply is right over the processor and the heatsink.
Those fuckers caught fire.
That's terrible design.
Yeah, that's how consoles are made.
I haven't messed around with an Xbox One X.
That's why a lot of them have bad heat issues, is because like they're trying to make them so small and compact that like there's not really places to put power supplies. That's why a lot of them started having external bricks power supplies, because everyone was just cramming them in like with hard components and just like, oh, why is this breaking in 8 years? I don't know.
One of the things is like you can, like the PS4, you can put it vertically or horizontally. You put it vertically, you're covering airflow. You put it horizontally, it's definitely going to get hot no matter what. So.
Well, yeah, like that. And I mean, some of them, like, I mean, PS3, you actually wanted it vertical. because they put the power supply on top of the heatsink for the CPU.
Yeah, as we get closer now to like where we're hitting the parts where like the advancements between like what's inside these consoles is kind of slowing down. We're getting just revisions after revision. I do want to see more time and effort go into how to better handle heat. I haven't, like I said, I haven't.
Yeah, I agree, but it's gonna take a long time because like that is part of the fun of this, but also part of the problem is you also have to remember at its core we're trying to talk about a piece of hardware that you're attempting to make for $200. You know what I mean? Like this, it's not going to be like designed like a MacBook because they're trying to make it for like $200 so they can sell it 300 or 400.
Yeah, because they need to make a profit.
Right.
No,
So
I know that some are sold. Like
yeah,
But they shouldn't be getting to the point where they're cracking.
oh, I agree. I'm not trying
should not
to.
be
I'm not trying to
that
defend it. That's what I'm saying. I don't own a console.
I mean, I assume that's definitely covered by the warranty. I would hope.
Dude, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows nowadays, man?
But like that is one of those things where it's like it sucks. It should also definitely last longer than a year. Like yeah, I've only my PS3 finally died this year. It was the original PS3, so it's like a 14-year-old piece of hardware.
I mean, that's another thing with the handhelds is like because it's marketed as a handheld, some people definitely put it more through its paces because they're taking it outside into the elements.
I was gonna say yeah.
Than you would with like a PlayStation 4, which is never going outside.
Oh, I can't wait to go camping this weekend. I'm gonna leave my Switch in my car that's 120 degrees for 8 hours.
I mean, let's be honest, they do it.
I would have done that this weekend if I had a Switch. So yeah.
It's crazy because are they really going to create a revision Switch right now? I don't think so. And I have issues with. I'm worried about this happening, cracking, heat issues, and I'm also worried about the battery. How much longer this battery is going to last for 2 hours, which is bullshit anyway. You know, a 2-hour battery is nothing.
No, it's like the Game Gear all over again.
Yeah, this battery is not going to last much longer another year. You're going to get 45 minutes if you're lucky.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they are working on a revision. I'm assuming they're already working on one, but yeah, I would think it would be like year, maybe 2.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on like using the Tegra X2 or something.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. They definitely have to be working on stuff, but yeah.
They have a great relationship with NVIDIA, and after the stuff that's happened with the X1 chip with the hacking and everything, I guarantee you Nintendo is definitely working with them and doing at least something custom. Because NVIDIA, when they came out, I think a couple months ago with their like stockholders report and stuff, they showed how much money they made off the Tegra because of Nintendo versus like what they were before. Like the Tegra didn't used to be a moneymaker. Now it's a really big moneymaker for them because of their deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because honestly, the only thing else that you really use a Tegra for is a couple of tablets.
And then the Shield.
There's a Chromebook, there's a Shield. The other big market for the Tegra is automated cars, so that might see a massive increase eventually. But yeah, right now,
but the Switch is definitely over.
Right now it's just the Switch. Yeah, right now you're making it for the Switch.
Yeah, even if they go with an X2, if it's a custom X2 or something,
it's an awesome little chip. It is an awesome little chip. I'm actually surprised at the power that comes from it.
I thought it was a K1. Am I wrong?
I'm not the person that would know that.
Okay, because he keeps saying X2, and I'm like, I thought it was a Tegra K1.
I always heard that the X2 was a chip, but
I thought it was the Tegra X1.
Yeah, unless they
might have changed it.
The X1's in the Switch. I thought they had an X2 that they were working on.
I think the X might be a variation. Okay, the X might be a variation of the K1 then, because it was always the K1 is what I was.
I am not up to date on my.
Chip. This is the K1 is the older one. It's the X1 is the Maxwell GPU, which is like twice as fast supposedly.
Yeah. Okay. The X1 was the upgrade to the K1, but that was the architecture that was always going off of. Cool.
Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they work on a more powerful chip in that same family like a step up from the X1 for the next
Yeah,
Switch.
I mean, it would be great. It would be great, but
Well, yeah, by that time, Turing will be out.
Turing will be out, and then they're gonna need to fucking get that
But
vapor chamber cooler on there.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
They need it, dude. The Razer Blades running nice and cool these days, I hear.
Your Switch is gonna cost $500.
I'd rather spend $500 on a Switch that'll last me 2 years than $300 every fucking year for a Switch that breaks and fucking cracks when you use it.
Just shut up and go buy your stupid Asus phone already.
Dude, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. All right, moving on. Did you guys hear about the ArenaNet story?
No,
all.
but I know ArenaNet, obviously.
Somebody mentioned this like in a Discord I was a part of. When they mentioned GW2, my first initial thought was, what's going on with Garden Warfare 2? It tells you how much I know about MMOs.
We're going to all learn this story together today. So I saw on Reddit, there was a very popular thread on the Guild Wars 2 subreddit about how someone was fired, and it was a big deal. So I was interested. I love drama, so I wanted to dive in. And this story came out yesterday on Polygon. ArenaNet, quote, folded like a cheap card table, says fired Guild Wars 2 writer. So, Jessica Price, who was fired by ArenaNet last week for arguing with fans of the company Guild Wars 2 MMO, said she feels betrayed by how the company folded like a cheap card table when confronted by toxic fandom. In an interview with Polygon, she talked about the meeting in which she was fired and castigated ArenaNet managers for their highly unprofessional reaction to social media controversy. Until last week, Price worked as a narrative designer on Guild Wars 2. Earlier this month, she wrote a lengthy Twitter thread about the differences between writing characters for linear, narrative-driven games and player characters in MMOs. A prominent Guild Wars 2 streamer and YouTuber known as Daywar chimed in to disagree. Price later called Daywar out, tweeting, "Today, in being a female game dev, quote, allow me, a person who does not work with you, explain to you how you do your job." So this was like the issue that a lot of the community had, was that she immediately turned this into like a sexist sort of like male versus female thing. And this YouTuber was essentially just criticizing her on her storytelling. Basically just saying, I don't think you do a very good job and you should probably do it this way better.
So she immediately drove right into Gamergate, essentially.
100%. 100%. And then upon hearing this, ArenaNet caught wind of this and immediately terminated her. They were just like, this was a very unprofessional way to deal with one of our customers. Popular streamer as well. This is someone that's going to promote the game. A game that, let's be honest, probably isn't doing so hot since its inception. So they canned her. And now I'm sure that canning alone has gotten this game a lot more attention, because, I mean, who would even be talking about Guild Wars 2 right now if it wasn't for a story like this? You know what I mean? So my question to you is, does she have a right to call this guy out who's calling her out? And should she be fired for the way that she called him out? Because she really wasn't that critical of him. And vice versa. It really wasn't too big of a deal.
Yeah, reading both of them, it's actually like, she's butthurt over what I'm like. Okay, actually, reading through this is just like nice, constructive criticism.
Yeah, like
he was just saying like, okay, I see what you're saying in this massive thread, because she released like a manifesto on like the philosophy of MMO RPGs, and says, "Oh, I this is really interesting. This is fun. I want to disagree slightly because of talking about like the philosophical differences of a narrative in an MMO." And then she's just like, "Thanks for trying to tell me what we do internally, my dude."
Yeah.
But it's also like people getting mad at him then because apparently he came to her private Twitter to attack her because he disagreed after she released 30 tweets on character development on a public Twitter.
Yeah, about the game.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm very confused about all of this. Like, okay, first of all, none of them did anything to be fired.
No,
This
I
is
don't
like
think so either.
this is like the most peaceful Twitter debate I've seen in a long time.
So you're
Yeah.
telling me that other people outside of the debate,
Yes, it's all the people outside of the debate, basically.
That's
always
That's-
the people reacting
Yes.
to it.
that's
Yes.
what the Polygon article kind of touches upon. That
Because, like, well, I mean, in all fairness, I think her responses were kind of bullshit. Because I think
dude, you're gonna get us fired.
I
It's the
don't
whole-
care, dude.
It's the
Well,
whole
no, dude, it's one of those things where it's like, this is such blue balls almost, because actually her entire main thread is very, I've been reading through it because I'm someone who's really interested in MMOs and especially like the ideas of how characters work in those. It's a really interesting, massive, long thread. You don't just tweet that if you're not trying to have a discussion about it. So when this guy comes and tries to have a discussion, she just instantly gets defensive, and he's just literally, I think the tweet that sums it up is, "You're getting mad at my obvious attempt at creating dialogue and discussion with you instead of just replying that I am wrong or otherwise correct me in my false assumptions. You just told me to fuck off."
Yeah.
You didn't say fuck off, but it's like,
reminder, you can't have a civil debate on Twitter. That is not the forum. It is not the place for civil debate. It just doesn't exist there. You're
No, so-
better off on forums or something.
so I do get why they're mad at her, because reading through his tweets, it's like, oh, this is interesting. Here's my thoughts on this on Twitter, because you put all of this on Twitter, not your private. Oh, got it. Okay. This is so fucking stupid.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's how I feel.
It is pretty stupid.
That's how I feel about Garden Warfare 2.
Same, dude. But no, like, I don't get why this is huge drama. Like,
I think
I don't think she
it
should have been
became-
fired. I can see. I don't think she should have been fired. I do see why. I do think it would have been a discussion at the office, and I can see why, like, the high ups at Guild Wars 2 would probably be like, "Hey, that wasn't cool," because seriously, like that. I mean, what the guy actually read was like actually really respectful and was just trying to create a conversation about the game. She's talking about, and that he makes videos for.
Honestly, if this is how she reacts on Twitter, imagine like working with her.
Right, like that's where it's like. So
Maybe
I
she
can see,
just
I can
sucks.
see why.
Whoa there, Wayne.
I can see why they would like be like.
Gonna get attacked
Hey,
here.
To me, it'd be okay with where it'd be like if they like had a conversation and be like, really, that, come on, like he was just trying to make more conversation.
She also
There was nothing toxic out of those two at all.
I'm not saying that she should have been fired, but at the same time, should have took a step back, gone, okay, I'm on public Twitter. I am a reflection of my company. I'm just going to ignore the criticism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
well,
and if she wanted to debate, then she could have, like, had a conversation. She just was like,
She didn't want to debate,
Yeah,
but she wrote a manifesto.
and then tried to say that this guy was being sexist.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, like he was just trying to like be like, hey, I have a counterpoint. This is interesting.
And
Like,
nothing,
it's literally just a counterpoint. It's not even actually like saying you're wrong in any way or actually being It's not even really.
And did he at any point bring up her gender or sex as anything to do with it?
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
Then that
Okay,
is
do you want me to read his? Okay, I'll read them all. Really interesting thread. Emoji. Okay, emoji. However, allow me to disagree slightly. I don't believe the issue lies in MMORPG genre itself, as your wording seemingly suggests. I believe the issue lies in the constraints of the Living Stories narrative design. When you want the outcome to be the same across the board for all players' experiences, then yes, by design, you are extremely limited in how you can construct the personality of the player character. But if instead players were given the option to meaningfully express their character through branching dialogue options, which also aren't on the checklist for an achievement that forces you through all dialogue options, then perhaps players would be more invested in role-playing aspect of that particular MMORPG. Nonetheless, I appreciate the insightful thread.
And then she says, "Thanks for trying to tell me what we do internally, my dude." Bag eyes emoji.
And then calls him sexist.
That's the
Yeah.
That was
so confused.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
Is it just like the era we live in, or if you like, I don't.
I think that's so. Like it was like literally like if someone told me this, I'd be really stoked if someone told me this.
This is like the entrails of like the Gamergate thing going on, which, you know, I do think that there is pretty rampant sexism in gaming, and I do think that women have.
No,
this is not it.
No, this is not.
This
it.
is not it.
This hurts the argument so much. It hurts their argument so much.
And let's be honest, there was probably a ton of comments on that thread that were horribly sexist.
Yeah,
like people that weren't him.
Right. Yeah, it hurts their argument.
Because that's Twitter for you.
Nonetheless, let's move on. I thought it was interesting little story, and the fact that the Guild Wars 2 community is
sorry. This
exploding.
is the best one. This is the absolute best tweet on this entire thread. Someone had to jump in saying, "I agree with her. You didn't have to come to her Twitter to say this. Like, do I go to Twitter to tell you how to correctly make YouTube videos?" Someone chimes, "I don't understand this logic. It's a public Twitter." And explains that this is the best comment. "Just because it's public doesn't mean we shouldn't have rules or courtesies. I don't jump into conversations in public whenever I feel like it, except under very, very circumstances." Completely different person who just jumped into this random conversation to say that.
Yeah. Well, that's a very important circumstance, I guess.
That's
I don't know.
Very circumstance, dude.
Yeah.
Just feel like the Dos Equis guy. I don't always interrupt conversation, but when I do, I fuck shit up.
But when I do, they're about Garden Wars.
That is the absolute best one. It's just like, you're a piece of shit for joining someone's conversation uninvited, which I just did.
Yeah. All right.
On a public Twitter thread.
Moving on, Panic Button is porting online co-op hit Warframe to Nintendo Switch. I'm pumped on this. I saw a little bit of this trailer here. It looks fucking dope.
I think it's cool.
Dude, Warframe is it. I want to play. I should play Warframe again.
He was also responding to an AMA thread.
Yes, it was an AMA thread. Correct.
But we like with Warframe, like people. I mean, I love the comments on the Switch. Anytime things come to the Switch now, or with the whole no crossplay. And then they fail to realize that Warframe actually has no crossplay on any of its versions. And that's actually good because people aren't going to be jumping in fresh with players that have been in. Everyone's starting fresh. And I think that's good for Warframe.
Mm-hmm.
All the entire install base.
Have you played Warframe?
I have not, but I probably will check it out.
Really good.
What is it?
It's free, dude.
Yeah. No, Warframe is really, really good.
Panic Button. Panic Button, they did the Doom, they did the Doom port, they did the Wolfenstein port. I'm impressed by what they can do port wise.
Warframe is one of those games that you can literally run on anything.
Yeah,
and I can see it running pretty well on Switch, and I'm excited for it. I it's just so.
Warframe also has so much content.
Content, and the combat is just so fluid. Like you can get
free.
Really good at it, and it's
free.
It's fucking
and then
dope.
on top of that, their dev team and community management team, exact opposite of what we just talked about, are all fantastic. They literally do. They've done, for like 2 or 3 years, they've done Twitch streams every single week, and just like have like full hour and a half long like Twitch streams. They're just like, hey, this is what we're working on. This is when we think it's going to come out. Like, and they have feedback with the community, and they give away a ton of free shit.
You know, it's kind of
because since it is free, there is, of course, an in-game currency that is kind of expensive.
It is really expensive.
But they get around that. They get around that by giving out a shit ton of free currency. And like once a week, you're going to get like a coupon that's like, hey, 70% off.
The thing with Warframe, and I think this is why it's not as big as it could be, because it's amazing combat. I mean, it's like Mass Effect it's like a Mass Effect MMO. It's just like so fluid. The gunplay.
What Destiny wanted to be.
Yeah, it's a great game. But I think they really need to figure out how to introduce players to it, because it's so complex when you jump into it.
It is incredibly complex.
So much shit to it that it's just overwhelming.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of tutorials, or
they finally got better with it. They have added tutorials now,
Because there's a good median between like too much hand holding and like literally zero like introduction.
And for a long time it was 0, and that was one of the issues it had. They do have kind of tutorials in it now, but it is still kind of one of those games. If you want to get good, son, you do have to go look for outside help.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's super fun though. I highly recommend it to anyone.
Yeah,
and you can
like
play it on every console.
it is, and it's what Destiny wanted to be. Basically, it's always been a looter shooter, kind of more like Diablo,
but when your price point is free, it's hard to argue.
It's because there's tons of loot that's all actually useful. The downside is you have to make things, so you don't actually get like gun loot or the Warframes loot, but you get pieces that you get crafting supplies, and then you get to craft everything. And that's
so
where
essentially it's like
that is where some of the money comes in, because it is a grind fest.
Yeah, it's kind of like Monster Hunter, where you don't just like get the weapon.
It's a lot like Monster Hunter, yeah.
You hunt the monster, you get the piece to craft it. Yeah, and then you gotta hunt the same thing 50 times because it's just not dropping that exact piece of hide you need. Yeah,
but but the combat is like
drops in this.
The combat, you don't really mind the grind because the combat is so fun and fluid. It's a good game.
But I mean, like that's why it's also kind of the opposite of Destiny. Is like every kill will at least get you something. Mostly, everything at the very least drops money.
And I just think it's fun.
So you
more fun than Destiny.
Unlike Destiny, where you kill everything and then you don't get pretty much anything for it.
Right.
Yeah, and Destiny, it's like there's not much variety in the combat. Like Warframe, you get
like,
all sorts of swords and katanas and staffs and shit, weapons.
Yeah, and they're all like some are a lot better than others, but on top of that, like there's all of the weapons, but all of the weapons have a card-based power-up thing. Basically, they're called mods, and like between all of those, you can chain them into like crazy ass weapons too, because like you'll start off with like, okay, there's a really cool weapon that's just like it's a super machine gun, which is already fun and awesome, but like you can make really cool builds with them then, because like you can be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna add a bunch of like ice damage and like poison damage to make it corrosive, and just like have like a corrosive spewing Gatling gun and like things like that. So like there is a lot of diversity and depth to like builds and building systems in it, which is cool.
It's awesome, man. Like corrosive. I think of like what's the game? Borderlands. When I hear corrosive, because that's like my favorite weapon type in that game.
Corrosive weapons, yeah.
Of course, that the downside of that is you can always min-max more efficiently. So like corrosive's better against one type of enemy and it's not against others and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like they always add more. They're always adding more crap, which is great.
Last couple stories. Castlevania Season 2 airs on Netflix 26th of October. Moving on. Darksiders 3 gets a release date at last.
Yeah, this game actually exists.
Can you just have The Witcher come out on Netflix?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you've never played Darksiders, you can get like the first 2 games for like $10. They're super cheap.
You can just get The Witcher free for like $20.
Not anymore. Not with the Steam sale being over. Probably 30.
You don't know.
The next Steam sale in the fall.
You don't know that. It could be free for all you know.
Okay. I actually do have news. And the bottom, I'm going to drop a link for coffee, and we're going to just you know what? If you guys want to help us out and donate $2 to the Buy DOOBIE Witcher 3 fund, can we do that?
Let's set that up. Let's see if someone can get you. I'm sure someone will gift it.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna throw it out there right now.
Oh no, you're not touching this money. It's going to be under me, and I'm going to buy it and gift it to you.
I'm just saying the tab should be just Geralt, just with money bags. That should be the picture for the episode.
All right, last story. Dead Cells gets a real release date and some rad physical copies. You hear that,
Yo,
Doobie?
did you see this? Did you see the special editions?
Dead Cells is currently available in early
Yo.
access on Steam and GOG.com for $25. When the game fully launches for PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, PC, Mac, and Linux, it will cost the same price. Pre-orders are available now with a 20% discount on consoles. As previously announced, physical copies of the game are available for PS4 and Nintendo Switch through the Signature Edition games. These games are priced at $45 and $50 for the Nintendo Switch. Each copy includes a region-free Dead Cells game on PS4, a double CD digipack soundtrack, which is awesome sound, or an awesome soundtrack, exclusive enamel character pin, a 56-page hardback art book, number certificate of authenticity, featuring motion twin autographs, an embossed outer box featuring exclusive artwork.
For $50? Are you kidding me? That's a steal.
Yeah, that's what it looks like right here.
From what I've heard, they're only 2,000 per system.
I might get it.
If it's numbered like out of 2,000, that's such a steal.
I don't know what Signature Edition is, but does that mean it supports them more?
It's the special edition, pretty much.
Like, do the developers actually make money from this?
There's a lot of stuff they're adding into it. I don't know, but I'm excited for Dead Cells. I've been waiting for the release date on this for as long as I've been waiting for Hollow Knight.
It is the best indie title since what the fuck is that game called? Hotline Miami.
Have you played Hollow Knight?
No, I haven't played Hollow Knight yet.
Play that too. You took my recommendation on
I'll play Hollow Knight as soon as you play Witcher 3.
I got you to play Ori, so we're good on that.
No, true. All right, I will get Hollow Knight just because of the Ori recommendation, but you need to get Dead Cells. But now you can wait. When is the game coming out? Do we know?
Dead Cells is August, I think 9th or something like that.
August 7th.
7th. I was close.
Yes, dude, it's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. It's great.
I'm definitely going to download it because I want to play it immediately.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna see, but I might download it as well.
It's so fucking good, dude. I can't wait.
The only reason I buy it physical is if like that special edition does seem really nice.
I can't believe it's like finally happening. To be honest, we've been talking about this for almost a year now.
What
Since
indie
Dead
games
Cells
are left
came
to
out.
really hope for, except for new ones?
Yeah.
There's
I
no
don't
more
know.
indie games to support, man.
I'm
It's over.
not mad at it, dude. I'm still going through Ori, even though that's not a Switch game. Is that coming on Switch anytime soon?
That is a Microsoft exclusive.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Microsoft Windows.
So what do we got? We got Hollow Knight. We got Dead Cells. We got Hollow Knight, Dead Cells. We have
I guess if you consider it
Shovel Knight.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the King Knight adventure, which that'd be the last one I think of the Shovel Knight. Then who knows what they're gonna do?
We have
after.
Enter the Gungeon. Enter the Gungeon's on Switch. There's just so many good indie titles on there that everyone needs to play.
I think it has Terraria, right?
Yep, Terraria's on there. That was like that's been a top seller for a while. Same as Stardew Valley.
Yeah. It's getting Undertale.
Yeah, Undertale. It's got them all, dude. If you're an indie title, you got to go and Switch.
I mean, it's like it's my preferred way to play indies right now. It's just
I wouldn't put. It makes no sense to play them on
to
PC anymore. Makes no sense to play them on PC, unless it's like a RTS style game.
Yeah, now I'm like I with consoles too. Like I have my gaming PC. I just need to actually have some games besides.
Well,
The Witcher 3.
there's one amazing game that you could play that could put your fucking PC get it sweating, dude. Finally break it in. You know what? I'm ending the show. We're not talking to you anymore, dude. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of No Life Gaming. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for No Life Tech. Next week we should have a show. We most likely will have a show next week. So if anything else happens, then we'll let you know. But we should have a show next week. But we'll catch you guys tomorrow for the tech portion. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Give Doobie money to get Witcher 3.
Please give me money.
Finally, this joke's like a year old now.
Well, give Jerry money to give Doobie Witcher 3. That's the way we're going to